Oh, hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan from the golden age of wrestling. And I just want to tell you guys are watching the best arcade and gaming podcast on YouTube. That's the Super Gameroom Dudes. You understand that, tough guys? The best arcade gaming podcast on YouTube. So check it out. The Super Gameroom Dudes. Ho!
What time is it?
Game time! Woo!
What up, YouTube? It's your boys, Detroit Love, P-Dubs, Nostalgia, and Michael B, the Game Genie, with another episode of the Super Gameroom Dudes. Let's get it started.
Oh, yeah!
Oh my God, it is Friday. Welcome to the Funhouse. Thanks as always for tuning in to another episode of Super Gameroom Dudes, your arcade and gaming podcast show. As always, I'm your host, Patrick, aka P-Dubs, and over here on my left is the man with the plan, Detroit Love. How you doing, brother?
You know how to do it. Fantastic, baby.
And right below me, right down here, this guy right here, that's Nostalgia. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay, man. How are you doing?
You got to say it. We're not moving on until you say it.
This is Steve from Nostalgia, and let's get started.
Let's get started. And over here, kitty corner, down here. Michael B, the Game Genie. What's up, Genie?
Not much, man. I'm back in my game room finally after a couple weeks of really bad internet, so ready to get this started.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, as always, for tuning in. Man, oh man, dudes, we have a super packed show tonight. Just like last week, we have a ton of things to cover. So let's waste no time. Let's dive into it. Now, the main theme of this show is we want to talk about PlayStation 5. We want to talk about the games, the announcements, our reactions, the console, the pricing, the pre-sales. That'll be the main focus point of the show. But before we get to the PlayStation 5, guys, let's get this arcade and gaming news and console news out of the way first. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. So first off, guys, first thing we're going to talk about is the X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet from Arcade1Up. You guys will notice that instead of having these rendered photos, we actually have some real photos now available on the FCC website of this cabinet. Now, what's very interesting about this cabinet is that if it's made it this far, guys, it is going to be coming out very, very soon. This particular cabinet had to go to the FCC because it is Wi-Fi. It is online capable. There's 4 games on this cabinet, and 3 of the games are online ready. So we'll be able to have our first fighting Arcade1Up online experience, which, you know, with NetPlay Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? We'll have to see when it comes out. They are using a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi antenna, not a 5 gigahertz network. Nostalgia, you are kind of an expert on this stuff. How do you feel about them sticking with the 2.4 and the net play, and considering the issues they had with NBA Jam? Can we expect to see that same kind of issues on this cabinet, or do you think we're in for a better experience? What are your thoughts, brother?
Because this is a fighting cab, I think we're going to get a different experience. Typically, I mean, if they're going with the same peer-to-peer system, most fighting games that you're going to find, even modern-day fighting games, will run on peer-to-peer. So that's very common. I do wish they just did something about the 2.4G Wi-Fi. That it just doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, we're in 2020 now. Like 5G Wi-Fi has been around for the past probably decade now. So I'm a little, I would say, disappointed that they're not going with just like the most modern Wi-Fi signal or antennas that you can get, or chipsets that you can get. But I mean, all we can do is wait. If this is going to be anything like NBA Jam, you can throw one of those USB to Ethernet adapters in there. You can hardwire it up if you really want to. But I think in terms of like ghosting or any of those desyncing issues, much less prevalent with a fighting game.
So you got high hopes, is what you're telling me. You got high hopes, or do you think
All
the
the
Super
high
Game
hopes.
Room Dudes, are we going to have to live stream more net play issues and get those resolved like we did with NBA Jam?
I don't think so. I think that I'm assuming if they're going online, they're going to be using Code Mystics as well. It would be smart for them to do that in terms of the emulation, at least. Mike's saying no. Does that mean no, we're not going with Code Mystics on this?
Yeah, Code Mystics are not involved with this cabinet.
Really?
Nope.
Do we know who is?
No, I don't.
So we don't know who's going to be managing the online side of things, huh? That's interesting. Okay, well, then I guess all you can do is wait and see. Hopefully they test their machines, because I think there's been a few machines that they've let out the back door without testing. So hopefully they do a good job testing it. So they need some QA.
Excuse me. Guys, let us know in the chat. Did you guys pre-order X-Men vs. Street Fighter, or are you going to purchase it later on down the road? What are your guys' thoughts on this cabinet? Detroit Love, what are you thinking about all this? Excuse me.
I don't need another fighter myself, but I'm glad to see that they're upgrading the cabs, for people that's interested in the Street Fighter. Got the backlit marquees, they got Wi-Fi, so they're bringing the high tech to a game we've had previously.
Yeah. Michael B, is this going to end up in the Michael B Game Genie arcade room?
I don't think so. This one's not on my radar, but never say never. Of course, it is the first fighter with Wi-Fi, so if we all decide we're going to jump in and we want to try this, I might get froggy, but right now it's not on my radar.
Not on your radar. What about you, Nostalgia?
No, this one is not. I've already pre-ordered 3 cabs.
Which ones?
Yeah. So I've got Big Buck on the way, Miss Pac-Man, and the Sega cab, the Golden Axe.
Golden Axe? Golden Axe? Okay, cool. Now, guys, we have to be honest with our audience. If we find information, we definitely want to share it with you. So taking a look here, guys, it does appear they have made multiple SKUs of this cabinet. So don't be in a rush to pre-order, is what I'm going to say. I haven't placed an order for this cabinet yet. In all honesty, if I had to choose between the two, I probably would get Marvel versus Capcom over X-Men versus Street Fighter. But you'll notice here, guys, we do have, it says here, the X-Men vs. Street Fighter Kokum edition, which is the edition that they sent to the FCC for testing. And this edition does have the riser and the light-up marquee. But also, guys, here it says X-Men vs. Street Fighter Standard Edition. If I had to guess, guys, that might be the Standard Edition we might see at Walmart for $300, is it right? Without the riser, if I had to guess what that is. But guys, this is the thing to keep your eyes out for. X-Men vs. Street Fighter Sam's Club Edition. If there's one thing we've noticed lately, guys, with Arcade1Up, is that the let me get this off of here, is that the Sam's Club and the Costco editions sometimes come out with a little bit more features. I mean, sometimes they're hokey basketball ball tops or light up buttons, but hey, some of the arcade and gaming community is into that stuff. So if you haven't pre-ordered yet, guys, my advice to you would be wait until you see what that Sam's Club SKU is going to be. That way you can make an informed decision. But yeah, I'm not ordering even if the Sam's Club edition is awesome, I wouldn't get this one because I'd rather have Marvel vs. Capcom artwork. Plus the games are different too, right, Michael B? On Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah, there's going to be a couple different games.
Yeah.
Hey, Nostalgia, someone asked, where did you pre-order your Miss Pac-Man from?
So I'm in Canada, so just in case anyone didn't know that. So I don't really have very many options. Currently, the only retailer, I guess, north of the border is the Brick. So actually, all three of my cabs are coming from the Brick. Normally, I would do an EB Games or GameStop pre-order, but they haven't had anything in their system. So the Brick's getting my business.
I got news. Get ready, everybody. EB Games and Best Buy here in Canada will have pre-orders for Miss Pac-Man and some of the other cabinets very, very soon.
Very cool.
Oh, very nice, brother. Very nice. I'm sure
so the
we are all...
other two viewers in our following right now from Canada.
You guys are hilarious. Okay, guys, let's touch on something real quick. There was this pesky pain in the ass YouTuber named P-Dubs who made this video about this Super Pac-Man Costco cabinet that apparently had these buttons mismatched, right? These buttons were put in the wrong spot for Galaga and Galaxian, right? Happy to report, and I'm sure you guys probably saw it in one of my videos, or maybe you saw it on the Arcade1Up fan pages, but Arcade1Up announced they are going to release a patch fix. We'll be able to plug a micro USB cable into our computer, into the back of the micro USB port on the back of the cabinet, and they're going to have some kind of patch file, some kind of firmware file that they'll update and get that fire button on both sides for Galaga and Galaxian. Now, the fact that they are doing this so quickly, they said it's going to come out next week. Actually, I find very impressive. I find that very impressive. I honestly thought it was just going to be, you guys got to live with it, because Arcade1Up hasn't done this kind of thing before, right?
Right.
So what are your guys' thoughts and reactions to A, they're offering a fix? Should people go buy that cabinet? Because in my opinion, that was the only thing really wrong with it. And C, what do you guys think about Arcade1Up actually doing this? What are your thoughts, guys? And let us know in the chat. Detroit
well, first
Love,
off, I want to say it's not just a mapping issue, because there's absolutely no reason for two buttons to be on the left at all, right? I mean, Super Pac-Man had a button on both sides. The only extra button would be for the fire button for Galaga, correct? Am I mistaken there? So it really should have been two buttons on the right, is what I'm getting at. I mean, it's great that they're fixing it, but I'm saying it's not just a mapping issue. They put the button on the wrong side, period. Because there's no reason, there's no game that requires that second button on the left side. Am I correct?
Pac-Land. You have the run normal speed and the run fast speed are those two buttons on the left for Pac-Land.
Okay.
Because you use those. Yeah, you use those buttons.
Okay. But it's great that they got a patch coming.
Yes.
That they're going to let us finally get in. We've all wondered what that micro USB port was for. We figured it was for programming. For them to open it up and allow us to do so is a step in the right direction, in my opinion.
Lon Chaney says, "Don't buy it and don't believe the hype either." He's not suffering from Pac-Mania when it comes to that cabinet. And Floyd, very sneaky, will find a way to use this patch. Shh, guys, shh, be quiet, guys.
Be very sneaky.
And also, too, kind of interesting, Arcade1Up announced they're looking for QA, quality assurance testers. They put this on their Facebook fan page. Hey, if you're interested in being a QA tester, you might get some free cabinets early, as well as, a free T-shirt, and you can test our games and all that stuff. Michael B., what do you think about this? Are you in?
I wish I was in. I have a lot of QA experience, but it's not really transferable, and I'm not exactly a game master, so I don't think I'd be a good fit, but I'd love to help out. But I'm sure there's people in the community much more suited to this, like Jennifer Yabut. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but, the grand Star Wars champion of the Arcade1Up community. So someone like that I think would be a good fit. I'd love to, but...
Keep going.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Or hand it off to Nostalgia. He's writing his memoirs right now. What's going on, Nostalgia?
I'm just responding to some comments, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good on them. They've clearly, I said it earlier, they clearly let some cabinets out without properly vetting them. I don't know the reason for that. I'm sure they have their own reasons, but I mean, test your cabinets, test your products. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. Make sure that what you're sending out is proper. The mistakes that they had on these cabinets are just like that. Those are amateur mistakes. If there was an issue with emulation or something, maybe that could be it. But the button mapping, that's kind of amateur. So
Yes, especially the fact that they've released cabinets with those games, so they're familiar with it. It'd be different if it was a totally different,
I mean,
different game that they hadn't done and somebody let it slip by. But they have cabinets with these games, so
yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
To be fair, AtGames did the same thing with the Legends Gamer. There was a couple Arcade1Up games that weren't mapped up properly. They were a little bit off, and when I went back and checked on the actual cabinet, they are mapped properly. So it's one of those things that just slip through the cracks. But at the same time, like, those are things that we got to really make sure are right. The player experience is pretty important.
Right, and the difference is with AtGames, they release firmware, so they're able to fix that a lot faster than what Arcade1Up would. But now that they've opened the door and they're getting more cabinets with Wi-Fi capability, maybe that's something that we will see going down the line, that these type of things can be just corrected over air. So that would be great to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, we got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's keep going here. So also on the Arcade1Up side, guys, the Golden Axe cabinet, the pre-orders did go live for $400. You get the cabinet, you get a light-up marquee, as well as you get the riser. What I noticed is on this particular photos on their website and everything, they show all the ball tops are red. Michael B., remember we were looking at that control deck and it had the Ninja Turtle ball tops on there? It had blue and yellow and purple and red. Well, it looks like it's coming with 4 red ball tops. So did any of you, I think Nostalgia, you said you pre-ordered this one. What made you pre-order this one, considering, let's point out, I'm going to play devil's advocate, okay?
Yeah.
So being devil's advocate, once again, we have a game that is a vertical screen game, now on a horizontal monitor, Wrestle War. So that game is probably not going to look so great. And then on top of that, we have this 4-player cabinet, and not all of these are 4-player games.
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying this cabinet to have one 4-player game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just being devil's advocate. What made you say yes?
Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder. That is the reason I'm buying the cabinet. So when I looked at the game lineup, I was like, okay, it wasn't super awesome in terms of seeing like a vertical game on there and seeing a single player game on there as well. But in my mind, I was looking at the game list and I was like, okay, this is decent. And the first thing that came to mind was my Final Fight cab. And when I picked that one up, I wasn't 100% convinced I would like it. And it's actually become my favorite cab. I just think it's the most versatile cab that they've released. So I like the artwork. I absolutely love the Golden Axe series. So it was just it was something, as soon as I saw that they had it at CES, I was like, that's 100% going to be something I own.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, my fellow co-hosts, as well as you guys in the chat? Who pre-ordered or is going to pre-order a Golden Axe arcade cabinet, and or are you just not digging this one? Well, go ahead, Detroit Love.
I didn't pre-order it. I'm not going to pre-order it. But if my wife gives me slack about buying this new cabinet, then I'm going to have to buy that for her because that is her favorite game. And then so I'll even the playing field a little bit. But she loves that game. I don't think she's ever played the Revenge of the Death Adder. So I think she would love to be able to play that. But she'll come down here and play Go Next all the way through and kick everybody's butt.
Yeah. I remember you and I, Detroit Love, we've been podcasting together a long time. You've told me several times your wife loves Golden Axe. So I figured you had to buy this cabinet, but you're saying you didn't have to.
I'm going to get it, but I'm not going to pre-order it.
Okay. You know what's going to happen? The next video on his channel is going to be Mrs. Love sneaking this cabinet downstairs to the basement. That's what we're going to see, guys. What about you, Michael B? What you got? What about this cabinet?
This cabinet was my most anticipated cabinet coming out of CES. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I am not going to pre-order from the US site because of the shipping. Unfortunately, the brick isn't available where I'm to, which is where we order from in Canada. So I have to wait. We're getting a brick somewhere around December, hopefully, and I'll be picking it up then. But otherwise, this would already be pre-ordered. I'm so excited about this. I've been following it like crazy. I was really worried they weren't going to include the original Golden Axe, because I don't know if you guys remember back to CES, there was only 4 games originally on the kick plate. It was Death Adder, Alter Beast, Shinobi, and Wrestle War. Golden Axe they had mentioned, but it wasn't confirmed at that time. So really cool they added that. I know that a lot of people are making a big deal. This is the first time Death Adder is going to be coming to the States. But also Shinobi is a big deal too, because if I'm not mistaken, there's some kind of problem with emulating Shinobi for people with MAME cabinets and different things like that. So a really good copy of Shinobi, that's going to be exciting too. The only thing I'm worried about, and I'm glad I can't pre-order this so I can wait to see what happens, is I'm wondering how player 1 will work on the 2-player games. Do you have to play from the player 1 position, or can you move to one of the center 2 joysticks? So I'm excited to see how people will handle that before I put my order in.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping players 1 and player 2 are the second and third one, because the other 2 positions just aren't comfortable for one player.
They can be, but for one player, you really do want to be dead center on with the screen. So,
all right, we got some folks joining the stream late. We're pushing 100 people, guys. Thanks as always for your support. We're glad you guys like tuning in, and we appreciate you guys tuning in every week to the Super Game Room Dudes. Now let's kind of move on from here. I was going to play the trailer for Golden Axe, but go check out the video on my channel. It's got the trailer for Golden Axe. You guys can watch it. So an interesting update. Let's move on to iiRcade. So Jong, who obviously he's a friend of the show. We like Jong. We're eager to see his product. We're hoping once we get our hands on it, it's as good as it looks, as good as it sounds, right? We, because we have to be honest when we review it, right? So we're very excited. We love Jong. We're hoping his product is great. And today they announced a partnership with Technos, and I'm going to play you guys a little clip here. On the replay, we might have to mute. I tried changing the music on this clip because they made it with like the Rocky soundtrack, but I couldn't find music that fit the clip. So don't worry, guys. We'll mute it on the replay to avoid a copyright strike. But guys, let's check out this Technos clip real quick, because this is actually a bigger deal than what I think you guys realize. So let's play this. All right, guys. So I got to say that when Jong brought how do you say his name? Minshin Rook on as his head of licensing, that guy's been on fire, man. He's been on fire. He's brought some great Android games over, games we never thought we would see, like Bomb Squad and stuff like that, which actually looks like it's going to be cool to play on this cabinet, as well as the Sega partnership, the Technos partnership, the Psycho partnership. That is an exclusive partnership. No one else can touch those games. All these other partnerships they've announced have not been exclusive. So there's a chance we might see these games on other arcade systems. The Psycho one is the only one that's exclusive so far. But that guy's killing it. That guy's killing it, guys. He's bringing in publisher after publisher. Michael B., what do you think about this? Because in my thought process, a lot of folks were like, okay, there's too many modern games. We don't have enough retro arcade games and good retro arcade games. Guys, Technos has some great games, and they got a whole bunch of them. 17 games are coming to their platform, and I'm going to pull up the list here in a second. But Michael B., what are your thoughts on this? Because you've probably played some of these games.
Not a lot of them, actually. Mostly my experience with Technos goes back to the wrestling games. Of course, they made the great WWF Superstars and WWF WrestleFest. John did mention on a stream that it's impossible to get those games. Nobody's going to get them. But what I would take from that is the wrestling that you experience in those games are what you're going to see in the other wrestling games on this cabinet. So if you've played either of those games, get really excited about the other wrestling games that are going to be featured. They might not have those familiar WWF names like our buddy Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but it's going to be a good, solid wrestling game.
What about you, Carl? What do you think about Technos joining the iiRcade brand?
Hey, I like options, man. Give me more. Give me more. You know, it's just some sounds are just so iconic when they're down for the count. 1, 2. I mean, like pole position, Pac-Man. When you hear those sounds, man, it just takes you back. So that alone got me hooked. I love it.
What about you, Mr. Nostalgia?
It looked like you lost your voice.
We lost your mic, brother.
How about now? Better?
There you go.
I was going to say I don't have a ton of experience with these games, so most of them kind of came around before I was born. I honestly think that more options is good. So I'm excited to see this. Now, I hear you talking about people saying they want more classic arcade games. I lean more into like more modern games. This has a beefed up CPU. We got to take advantage of that. So
I agree with you. I definitely feel that the showcase to this particular cabinet is supposed to be, from all the hype, is supposed to be the fact that this thing is going to have better processing power than anyone else on the market, and we're supposed to be able to play better games easily, right? But then again, guys, there's a lot of stuff we can do on the AtGames Legends Ultimate, right? I play a ton of Steam modern games on the AtGames Legends Ultimate via the streaming capabilities. But this is stuff that's going to be built in, running right here off the native hardware. It's not going to be streamed. But the point is some of the feedback they got early on was you're adding all this middle modern, what's that fancy word John uses? I forget it. Neutro, like the middle retro. I forget Mutro. I forget the word he uses. You guys know what I'm talking about.
It's retrosexual.
So here's the thing, guys. It's impossible to please everybody, right? So the modern gamers are happy, like, yeah, we're going to be able to play some cool games. But then all the retro gamers were like, well, nothing that I liked when I was a kid was on here, right? So he adds some retro games, and then the modern babies like Nostalgia get upset. So I'm just messing with you, brother. So, but you see my point, right? Like, you can't please everybody. But what's cool about these multicades is there's going to be hundreds of games, and it's a la carte. Play what you want to play, right? Pick what you want to buy and play it. So, Neutro, that's it. Neutro, which is new retro. Neutro, that's the funny word that he says. Thanks so much, Scott. I appreciate it. So, but yeah, guys. So Technos, and who do you guys want them to get next? Considering they got Sega, they got Technos, they got Psycho, they already got a bunch of Data East stuff. What do you guys think? Who's next? Or what games would you like to see on their platform, even if it's more modern? Throw something out there.
Midway.
Well, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Say that again.
I said Midway.
Midway titles? Okay. How about Doom? What if we could play Doom on there?
That would be nice. And be able to play online.
So Midway is owned by Warner Brothers right now. So they'd have to go through Warner Brothers in order to pick up Midway titles. Am I correct?
I think so, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll throw out the elephant in the room. Hey, John, go talk to the people at Nintendo. What could it hurt?
Why not? Just give it a shot, brother. You never know what might happen. You never know what might happen.
As well as I do, that will not happen. That will not happen.
Well, yeah, Nintendo is their own beast. But yeah, I think Capcom, Taito, those would be great. Taito Superman, I have issues with this game. Let's not get into that. I don't know about that. Atomis Wave, Naomi. Sorry guys, just catching up on the chat, giving all the loyal viewers a chance to voice their opinion, because this is the people's show, right? This is the people's show. So okay, let's get this off of here. Now let's talk about one more bit of arcade news, and then we're going to slip on into the console stuff. And man, we got a lot of console and exciting PlayStation, all that stuff. It's going to be epic. Neo Geo. They sent out emails today, guys. Did you see the emails? Did anyone pre-order a Neo Geo cabinet?
I did not.
Neither one of us would have been able to.
All right. Well, let us know in the chat if you pre-ordered the Neo Geo cabinet, the MVSX, and if you received this particular email today saying, hey, everybody, we listened to your feedback and all that kind of stuff, and we listened to your feedback about all the blood and violence and you want, so we're going to give it to you. Samurai Showdown and Metal Slug series, we are going to add the blood and violence and gore as requested prior to this cabinet being shipped, as well as they've refunded people their freight shipping as well. You'll see a credit on your PayPal accounts in 1 or 2 days. Guys in the chat, let me know what you think about the Neo Geo MVSX. Did you pre-order? Are you excited that they're giving you the blood and the gore? Or are you, I don't care about this cabinet? Be honest, guys. I appreciate your honest feedback. And Detroit Love, Michael B, Nostalgia, what do you guys think about Neo Geo saying, you know what, we'll give them the blood. We'll give it to them.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to wonder if this was maybe part of their plan. Their marketing plan is, instead of most companies, when they're going to send out review units, they send out review units. Like you get a bunch of review units going out rather than a rotating unit that kind of travels. And I'm wondering if maybe it was part of their plan to send out one single unit, get a bunch of people using this machine and getting consumer feedback and jumping into the live streams and reading all the comments that people had and finding out what really people didn't like about it. And then they can make those tweaks and adjustments before they actually send this thing into full production. So if that's what they're doing, good on them. I absolutely love to see that companies are listening to the end user and trying to make the changes. What they need to do is deal with those speakers.
Yeah.
They gotta deal with those speakers.
Yeah, need some better sound. Guys, personally, I find it exciting. It seems like this community is growing. We're growing stronger. And what's really cool is these companies are, I mean, they've said since day one, we listen to our fans. But it appears to me, guys, that these companies are actually really listening at this point. Arcade1Up fixing Costco within a week of the news dropping. Neo Geo saying, you know what? The fans want blood. We're going to give them the blood, right? And think about all the things that iArcade has changed from their initial product until what's coming out. And guys, 90% of that came from the fans, came from people saying, you know what, but we will buy it if you do this. And the company's saying, okay, we'll give it to you, right? I feel a change in the air, guys. I feel like we're kind of running the show now, in my opinion. Like not me personally. I'm talking the community, right? These companies need to listen to their customers. I mean, think about it, guys. I've spent over $5,000 on Arcade1Up products alone. That does not include all the other products. $5,000. And I think, guys, when we spend that much money, we have a right to be heard. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Just think about this market just wasn't here 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Arcade1 came out, they didn't expect this type of response, period. They had no idea this was going to take off like this. Sort of like we were talking about with Toy Shock, you know, thought it'd be just one and done, grab whatever money I can get and be gone on to the next project. Nobody anticipated this. This is the perfect storm for especially people my age and right below me and right above me. People have discretionary funds. They have $5,000 to put on toys, you know. So they're going to listen to us because a lot of things they released they hadn't even thought them through because it's just grown so fast. And these games are being thrown, it's getting into the community, and people are saying, "Hey, we want backlit marquees. Don't even think about releasing anything without that." That's the whole nostalgic value that we have, right? So they're listening, they're making the changes, and it's exciting.
Yep. Very cool. Nostalgia, what do you think?
I think they kind of have to listen to the community. I mean, this is a niche market, so if they're not going to listen to what people want within this really small niche market, then eventually they're going to start putting out products that no one's buying. So, as much as I want to give them kudos for doing it, they really have to do that. And if they don't respect their customers and give them what they want, then their customers are no longer going to be their customers. So, I think that, like I said, I think it's a necessary thing.
And with the number of guys entering this space, the number of new products that are going to be available, I think all these companies better remember, you know what, if we treat these guys dirty, they might go to the next guy for their next arcade machine. You know what I mean? So guys, don't be afraid to be honest and provide honest feedback. Go ahead, Michael B.
Well, we've seen it specifically with the Neo Geo cab. It's only going to take a minute for one of these companies to slip up, for one of the main publishers to say, you know what, we can just do this ourselves. Why are we dealing with a middleman? We'll just find somebody, we'll make our own cabinet, and we'll bank this money ourselves. I'm sure everybody says what's happening with Nintendo. Maybe they'll come out with their own Donkey Kong cab eventually.
It'll be a long time before that happens, but
that would be crazy. Let me say, if Nintendo, they have the money, they have the power, they have the warehouses. If they wanted to just take a section of their company and say, you know what, let's build some arcade machines. How many pre-orders do you think they would get? Like if they announced, you know what, we're going to make the Nintendo Play Choice 10, a 3/4 scale Play Choice 10. It's going to have those 10 games on it. How many pre-orders do you think they would sell day one? How many?
As many as they're willing to produce.
Yeah,
exactly. As many as they're willing to produce. Now, and this isn't a shot against Arcade1Up. You guys got to remember, Arcade1Up is still small. They're not big. They're still a tiny company, right? Nintendo is huge, worldwide brand. If Nintendo said, hey, you know what? Tomorrow we're building arcade cabinets. Place your pre-orders. Thousands upon thousands of orders will come in, right? Mm-hmm. It won't take them, and again, this is not a shot at Arcade1Up. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. They're a small company. They're not a household name yet. Took them 4 or 5 months to sell 8,000 Marvel limited edition cabinets. Nintendo will sell 8,000 day one. You know what I mean?
They'll sell more than that. They'll sell way more than that.
You know what I'm saying? Like it could be the first hour they'll sell 8,000, but I'm just saying that's the power of brand recognition. So.
Right, but the reality of it is, it still wouldn't affect Arcade1Up and other people because they will be selling a totally different product. Yeah, that's not available otherwise. So, so the market's there for what we have today to continue to grow, as well as for Nintendo to get in there and make their cabinets available as well.
Yep. And personally, that's what I would love to see. I would love to see Nintendo just shock people and say, you know what, we're making a mini arcade and we're going to do the Play Choice 10 because it's going to have a good variety of games. I think it would sell like hotcakes. All right. Enough of arcades. We have over 100 people waiting to talk about all this beautiful, wonderful, sexy, awesome console stuff. So guys, if you don't indulge me, did anyone pick up their Super Mario 3D All-Stars? Did anyone get it? Anyone get it? Hold them up if you got them. Hold them up proudly. One of these hosts is not like the other. Nostalgia, what happened, bro?
Amazon sucks, is what happened.
You should have went with Best Buy.
Man. Literally, as soon as they made this announcement, like I watched the direct and I was like, okay, I'm buying that. So I went straight to Amazon. I went straight to the pre-order section. I got it. Like literally the second it was available. I put it in my cart. I went through the checkout. And then I got an email last night and I'm thinking, okay, awesome. They usually send an email out the day before. Shipping notice, here's your tracking. Here's when to expect it. And no, it was pretty much saying, we're just putting you on notice that we'll let you know when we ship it. Hopefully sometime next week. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what are you guys talking? I've never, ever done a pre-order from Amazon and not had it on day one. Luckily, I did get another. So the original email said I'd receive it sometime between Tuesday and Thursday next week. But I did get an email a few hours ago with the shipping notice. I'm going to have it tomorrow. So I don't have it now. I will have it tomorrow. Hearing Nostalgia tell that story, I feel like I should have had him full screen and playing some Boys to Men music in the background. Like, just a little violin music. All right, go ahead and tell that story again, Nostalgia. Just start over it. I will most certainly not do that. But
Come
you get the point. I'm gonna have my.
of the road.
I'm 100% gonna have it tomorrow.
Can't let go. Oh, poor Nostalgia. It'll be here like in a couple of days. Relax.
It'll be here tomorrow.
It'll be here tomorrow. Go
P-Dubs,
ahead, Mike.
are you trying to get our channel demonetized? First you play Eye of the Tiger, and now you're singing Boys to Men.
Hey, man, you can sing, right? You can sing, right? No, you can't sing.
You can't sing.
Well, I know I can't sing, but I mean, like, you can like sing a song. Like, I can sing "Happy Birthday," and we don't get a copyright strike. Either way, guys, keep an eye on the channel. We're going to be live streaming. I actually did a poll, and I said, should we live stream Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, or Mario Galaxy first? And it seemed like Mario 64 was the winner. Like, people want to see Mario 64. Do you guys think that that's the best game on here out of these three? Mario 64? What are your guys' thoughts? And let me know in the chat.
It's certainly the most nostalgic.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I don't know what any of those games are, so I'll be.
It was our first 3D Mario game.
It was.
I may recall it, but I don't.
Do you guys remember the first time you ever saw it? I remember walking into Toys R Us before it was released and seeing the kiosk there for the N64 with Mario 64 playing.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you guys feel about some of the negative press that this has received? Some folks are saying they didn't do enough. They've added some additional enhanced graphics in areas, but overall, it's not a truly remastered product. So a lot of these guys who I'm seeing who've already gotten their hands on this and they've been streaming it, I'm hearing a lot of negative feedback. They're like, all they did was take 3 games and stick them on a cartridge and sell us the same thing we've purchased 20 times already. Nostalgia, what do you think about that?
I think that's exactly Nintendo's business model.
Exactly. Like, well,
that's
you're
exactly
different.
Yeah. When I hear people complaining about that, I'm like, how many times have you bought Super Mario World for the SNES?
Oh, man.
Like, and they don't do anything to it. They just resell you the same game. I'm surprised they even made a physical edition of this. Like, I'm happy that I'm going to be able to physically own this. But yeah, no, I don't care. I mean, the Super Mario 64 port that came out that was like community made or like independently made illegally or whatever that Nintendo squashed immediately. I would have loved to see something like that, like full widescreen, upscaled 4K resolution, things like that. Like, that would have been pretty cool. But I mean, I'll take what I can get. This is Nintendo we're dealing with. Nintendo does the opposite of what people want.
Exactly. Like, you were expecting more? It was my gut reaction. Like, they're just giving you the same game on the, the same way, and we're going to buy it because we can't help ourselves. So
they're good games. just be happy that they're re-releasing them. That's my perspective.
Exactly. Floyd, he said it. This is Nintendo's model for the last 20 years. As long as people will buy it, we'll keep reselling it. All right, guys, I wanted to share something that I am personally excited about. So we're going to keep moving on in the consoles. So I went ahead and I placed my pre-order for this. And I don't have my phone. When does the pre-order ship? I think this ships, is it November or October? So Star Wars Squadrons, guys. When does it ship? I got to pull it up on my phone. Whoa, what is that?
I have no idea when it ships.
So, folks, have you seen this trailer for Star Wars Squadrons? We're going to kind of play it, but we're going to have it muted so we don't get our 9th copyright strike on this stream. Let me get this full screen, and we can kind of talk over it as it's playing. It's about a 5-minute video, plenty of time for us to kind of talk over it. Now, I love Star Wars games. I love playing whatchamacallit, the old God, what was it on the GameCube? Was it Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron 2.
Yeah. And and then of course we have our Star Wars our Battlefront games. And then of course this is basically this just looks insane. And I wish I could play the audio for you guys, but we don't want to we've already had like 5 copyright strikes this episode. But if you haven't had a chance yet, go check out this trailer. This is coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and all that. You can place your pre-orders now, and it just looks great. It just looks awesome. Detroit Love, did you get a chance to watch this yet?
I have not. I hadn't played a Star Wars game in so long. No idea. I'll have to check it out.
Nostalgia, what do you think about this bad boy?
I think it looks good. It's certainly, I was really excited when they released. Was it Fallen Jedi? Is that the one that just recently came out?
Yeah, that didn't come out too long ago either, and this is already
Yeah.
coming out as well. Yeah,
Yeah, and I really, really enjoyed that game. Now it was short. I think I was able to get through that game in like 6.5, 7 hours. But it was just developed really well, and it was really fun to play. So, as long as they're putting some thought into the mechanics of the game, then I'll be in. I mean, who doesn't love Star Wars? Well, Glenn doesn't like Star Wars.
yeah. I mean, this thing is what? It's $40. Oh, here it is, guys. It's $39.99. You can get it at like Walmart, and it'll arrive on October 2nd. Guys, it's only 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away, guys. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be live streaming this game. I'm excited because if there's one thing I liked in the Battlefront games and all that stuff is hopping in vehicles and things like that. So this is really cool, in my opinion. Michael B., what are your thoughts?
Well, I was a big fan of Rogue Squadron, and this seems to be a spiritual successor in sense. I mean, it looks beautiful. Hopefully it plays just as well. And yeah, I got a feeling I'll probably be checking this one out as well.
Was it really last year for Fallen Jedi? I swear it was like this year, like maybe I thought like March, April. Was it really last year?
No. It was
last holiday last year.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe that's when I bought it. I probably waited until March or April. Oh man, this looks great, guys. I mean, it looks beautiful. Look at that! Look at that bobblehead right there. How could you not want a Wicket bobblehead in your cockpit? This looks super cool, guys. All right, $39.99. Get your pre-orders in. You'll get it on October 2nd, which is only a couple of weeks away. Very, very exciting. I don't think we have to keep showing the rest of this. Let's see here. Oh, one thing cool. You get your dog fights. And then, of course, they have dog fights. They have fleet battles as well. And let's kind of check out the fleet battles really quick here. Let's see here. I kind of fast forwarded in the video a little bit. I mean, look at this. I mean, dudes, it's like living the movies, man.
I think this game would be really fun to play in VR if you don't get motion sick.
Oh, I get motion sick. I couldn't play it in VR. Oh, so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah, this game does looks pretty good. If you're into this style of game, then I think that this would be a lot of fun to play.
I'm hyped.
So, P-Dubs, are we going to get another review of this game with you running across the desert?
Oh, I hope so.
A new Star Wars P-Dubs intro? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. The desert of Tatooine that's right outside my house here in Arizona. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might happen, guys. All right, let me get that off of there for a minute. If you guys want me to do an all-out Star Wars intro, let me know. I have no problem filming that. I got new props too. We can make that happen.
And with this, you need to make sure that you go frame by frame and you do the lightsaber effect and everything.
Now keep in mind, when I filmed that, I was only doing this for like a month when I filmed that. So like I kind of know a little thing or two now. I'm a little bit better at this stuff. I might actually make it a little bit more easier to watch. Or should I film it in the same style? Like just make it bad on purpose? Because the first one, I mean, should I make it bad? Like, camera like all off positioned, all that kind of stuff, bad lighting. Is that what I should do? All right, we'll do that. We'll make it awful on purpose. And then what'll happen is all the trolls are going to be like, oh my God. Hold on. The trolls. Here, let me find them. Here's one right here. Oh my God. P-Dubs made a video and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a loser.
I think that's a fairly accurate representation, P-Dubs.
Yeah, I know. And as always, when we see the trolls, we just smile and nod and say this.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good.
It's another copyright claim.
That's another copyright strike. Guys,
we
we
go.
are pushing for 10, Miss Davis, 10 copyright strikes this episode. All right.
That's the same thing I do when that one person comes and down thumbs my video. Like, loser.
I didn't like the video. Like The video has been published. It's a 9-minute video. The video's been published for 4 seconds, and you have a thumbs down already? Detroit Love, why? What is that? What is that about?
There's one guy, he loves to do that. I like the view, so thank you.
So I'll tell you a funny story. I had a video set to, what is it, private one time. Not private, but unlisted.
Unlisted.
And I sent it to one of my friends, and I was like, yeah, give me your opinion, what you think. I checked the video like a couple minutes later. There was a down thumbs on it.
That's funny.
Please, no orange prison jumper. That's what I think he meant to say. He said a jumper. And that's actually what it was. That was a Halloween costume of an orange prisoner costume that I turned into a rebel pilot outfit. How'd you know that, Kev Gret? You stalking me? Okay, guys, hey, speaking of that, guys, do us a favor, whatever chat room you're in, whatever channel you're watching right now, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. We'd greatly appreciate your support. All right, now we got more stuff to talk about here. What's next? What's next here, Nostalgia?
I think everyone's waiting on the PS5.
Yeah,
let's start moving into PS5 territory.
Yeah, PlayStation 5, baby. Nostalgia. What do you think?
I'm very excited. I live streamed that event. I got like 35 copyright claims. It was pretty sweet. And no, I'm very excited about it. I pretty much ended my stream and then went straight out to my car so I could drive to my retailer just to find out that they weren't doing pre-orders. But then they were doing pre-orders. It was like this whole thing, and it was really, really annoying. So I did manage to get myself a pre-order. I was just at home after I came back from the retailer. I was just sitting at home, and I was kind of looking to see different retailers, what games were going to be available for pre-order and things like that. And I was on Best Buy's website, and then all of a sudden I clicked on the PS5, and it said add to cart, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. And I did that and went through the checkout process, and I got my pre-order in. And I think I may have been one of the first people to do that because I didn't have any issues with websites crashing or being slow, crawling, nothing. I think I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I'm very happy that happened. So I am now getting my PS5 sent.
So you were able to actually get an order in. I have not successfully been able to get an order myself. What about you guys?
I was not able to.
Looks like the tables have turned.
Oh, come on. We got plenty of time. There'll be more units available. What'd you guys, Michael B., what'd you think about all this? I'm trying to find the video that we might not get copyright struck against.
Well, I watched this horrible stream of the PS5 event that was it wasn't very entertaining. The guy showed his face too much, not his arms enough, but it got me a little bit hyped up, and I wasn't going to buy a PS5, but I got to say that last PS5 event where they revealed the price kind of swayed me. I'm not there yet, and I'm kind of glad that it's sold out everywhere because I obviously have impulse control issues, so I'm not buying one right now.
You're not buying one? Wow.
No, not yet.
You're going to have to wait till like middle of Q1 then. My prediction, I think there's going to be some more pre-orders that kind of trickle out through all these retailers. But I think that once they sell out, once they're actually released and they sell out, we're not going to see this again till like end of January, February, maybe March.
So I'm betting on that this is going to be a lot like the PS3 launch, because when the PS3 launched, it sold out like immediately, and everybody was like, oh, well, I'll go buy something else. And then right before Christmas, there was a second wave of systems that just released. And I ended up getting the PlayStation 3, I think it was like a week, 2 weeks after the initial launch. They did eventually come out with a couple more before the holidays, especially right before the holidays. I mean, they're not going to turn away that money.
Yeah, I was working at Walmart at the time, and I remember when that happened. And the second batch that we got, I'm trying to think, it was like maybe a week before Christmas. And we got them, they came in, and it was almost like they had to be like secretly brought into the back, and the managers had to negotiate when we're going to put these on the floor, or if we're even going to put them on the floor. And it was and we got like 5. Like we got 5 units. And they were just like, what do we do? And I was like, just put them in the glass, and if somebody wants them, they'll just come in and buy it. And that's exactly what happened. They went out the door, like as quickly as they went into the glass, they went out the door. So I don't know that we're going to see any before Christmas. I hope we do. There was so much talk on Sony's behalf about them making crazy production, but
What I really feel bad about when this stuff happens, like I understand the reason behind doing a limited release. It might have something to do with the shortage of supply because of the pandemic, or it might be artificially done to increase demand for the product. But what I really feel bad about is I've been in stores and I've watched parents come in talking about how their kids wanted this for Christmas and they can't get it for them. And then the parents have to go back and say, I'm sorry, Santa Claus couldn't get this for you, or we couldn't get this for you. That's the only thing I don't like about this. I just feel bad for the kids that basically their Christmases are going to be ruined because of the limited quantities that are going out there.
Christmas is not about what you get. It's about what you give, Mike.
No, not for the little kids. Mommy, where's my PlayStation 5? Santa hates me. Yeah, $70 price tag on the games. Now, you guys want to hear something funny? I did pre-order Demon's Souls as well as the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. Those are the two games I pre-ordered. Even though I couldn't get my hands on the system, I went ahead and I said, I'm just gonna, because Best Buy guys actually had a pretty good bundle. They had the console, the disc console, not the digital only console, and they had 3 games: Call of Duty, Demon's Souls, as well as Spider-Man, the ultimate version of the Spider-Man game, for like $670, something like that. It was a pretty good deal, pretty good bundle. And I had it in my cart and it wouldn't go through because there were so many people ordering. And then yesterday, when they went live on Walmart, I was camped out. I had one in my cart, but when I went to place the order, all of a sudden it told me can't take the order. Like it all crapped out on me. So I have not gotten my PlayStation 5 yet. Kev Gretz says he has 3. Yes, send one my way. I would appreciate it. I need it.
It'll only cost you $7,000.
Yeah.
I'm still going to try to get my hands on, so I got the one with the disc. That was the one I wanted the whole time. But I'm still going to do everything that I can to try to get myself a digital copy as well. Because I'm hoping to do a teardown on it. I want to kind of take it apart and see how it looks inside and all that good stuff. I might even consider doing that with an Xbox product, but maybe a little bit differently.
So this obviously is Final Fantasy 16. Now, I haven't touched a Final Fantasy game in a while. So honestly, like jumping back into that franchise could be fun. But honestly, I think I've kind of moved on in my life from Final Fantasy. But guys, which one of these games are you the most excited about? I think that Spider-Man game is looking pretty slick. And obviously Demon's Souls, because I pre-ordered that one as well. What about you guys? Which one excited you the most? And maybe I can find footage. Go ahead, Detroit Love.
Spidey's my boy, so I'm all for that.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I'm going to fast forward. I mean, look at this. Incredible.
Yeah, graphics are phenomenal.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Spider-Man, Michael B, Nostalgia, as well as you guys in the chat?
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, it looks incredible. As long as it plays like Spider-Man that we experienced on PS4, it's going to be a winner. I can't say anything negative about this game. I'm really excited.
I'm in the exact same boat. So there's 2 games for the PS5 that I am going to make sure that I get right away. I'm going to get this one, even though it'll still be released on PS4. But the other one might surprise you, Sackboy. I want to
Sackboy?
Sackboy, yeah. I'm a big fan of the Little Big Planet series.
Oh,
and,
really?
they kind of
I've never played them.
You haven't? So it's kind of like picture like a side-scrolling Mario game, like a platformer. But they've gone ahead and taken this game and they're turning it into like a 3D platformer. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I just like the series, and that's one that I think is going to be a launch day title for me in my home.
Now, taking a look here, guys, what about here? Let's take this off real quick. What about after? So they have this big event, right? And they show these games, and then we find out like the next day, oh yeah, by the way, Spider-Man, as well as a couple of these other games, are not PlayStation 5 exclusives.
Right.
They will also be on the PlayStation 4. Was that forgive the language, a D move by PlayStation to make it seem like these were PS5 exclusives, or should we have known better as consumers? Michael B, you look like you're deep in thought.
No, I'm not really deep in thought. I don't really care. I mean, It's the same thing when Breath of the Wild was going to come out. They told us Breath of the Wild was going to come out on the Wii U, and eventually it became a Switch release, but we still got the Wii U version. This happens all the time. It's a changeover in the guards. I mean, Xbox at least was honest that said we're not going to have any exclusives. PlayStation 4 is saying we got lots of exclusives, but these are really up-res PlayStation 4 games sometimes. I don't care. It's not a big deal. Play it on when you want to play it. If it's going to look better on PlayStation 5, I'll play it on PlayStation 5.
It'll only look better on PlayStation 5 if you've got a TV that supports that, though.
Right.
What about you, Carl? Are you mad at PlayStation?
No, I dislike when they come out with a new console and you can't play the games on the older version. So it's a great move for those who are loyal to that brand. They get to still be able to play the great games. We all know when those consoles first come out, it's going to be a few years before the developers even get to games that truly take advantage of what's new in those platforms. So it's going to be a while. So get people to play what they want. They make money from the game titles. That's what it's all about, and people enjoying the games in the end.
Kev Grutz says, but the difference is they lied about it. I mean, consumers don't like dishonesty. I mean, that's true. They're taking a book from Microsoft, not leaving the PS4 in the dust yet. Well, yes.
I think that's an important thing, that comment thing, because there are still people buying PS4s today. Like they're still in retailers. You can go into Walmart and buy a PS4. I know a friend of mine that just picked one up a few months ago at the beginning of the whole lockdown in Canada. It was like March, April. PS4s were flying off the shelf. Same with Nintendo Switches. People were looking for something to do. So it's I get the context that people said they lied. Did Sony come out and say that Spider-Man was 100% going to be only PS5? Because I don't. If they did, then maybe they need to do something about that and make it up to some people. But if they didn't specifically say that it was going to be a PS5 exclusive, then it's fair game. Now, I know that they said they're going to have PS5 exclusives, and we are going to see that. The new God of War game that was briefly teased, guaranteed that's going to be a PS5 exclusive game that's developed for that platform. Right. But that's it doesn't bother me so much. There's a lot of people, a lot of owners of PS4 consoles, so they got to make sure that they keep that user base happy too.
We got a great. Go ahead.
Oh, and I just bought a Switch for the first time today, and this is what, 2 years old, 3 years old, you know. So the market's there. I may even be willing to buy a P4. You know, I hadn't had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2. All you guys buying these PlayStation 5s, that may bring the market the price down for a PS4 for me. So hey, I'm all for it.
Speaking of the Switch, Carl, did you happen to pick up Super Mario 3D All-Stars for the Switch?
I did.
Did you? Oh, looks like everybody did, except for one of us. All right, guys, we got a great question, and we kind of talked about this last week. It's called the hold the pickle argument, right? What do you think about them charging $70 for a game? Do you think that's fair or too much? Look, if they want to charge $70 for a physical copy of a game, I better get the entire game. You know what I mean? Like all DLC, all the add-ons, all that kind of stuff. That's my personal opinion. $70. If it's a digital only and you're not paying nearly as much, you know what I mean, to get this product to me for packaging and physical and all that kind of stuff, I think if they really want to push digital and eliminate physical, they should make digital a more competitive price, in my opinion. It's the hold the pickle argument, but they won't do that, right? You go to McDonald's, you say, hey, I want a cheeseburger, hold the pickle, hold the onions, hold the mayonnaise. They're putting less of their own costs into the product, yet they charge you the same price, right? And that's what these gaming companies do. It's the hold the pickle argument. If you tell them I want to add something, they charge you, right? So guys, the console gaming industry is just like McDonald's. You're getting ripped off no matter what. What do you guys? Go ahead, Nostalgia. I'm so angry. You take it from here.
The $70 price point doesn't bother me at all. It's been a very long time since we've seen video games bump up in price, and the reality is that these things are getting more expensive with a lot of the legislation that's coming into different cities, increasing minimum wages, and I mean, you got to pay more to get high quality developers. It's costing these guys a lot more, and they got to make a buck. If they're not going to make money and they don't see the value in it, they're going to just stop developing them. So I don't mind paying $70 for a good game. I don't want a pay-to-play game. I don't want to buy a game that I have to continually pay
Yeah, that's a fair point.
microtransactions to get through. But if they're going to give you like I would say a quote-unquote complete game, and then you've got the option to buy DLC that just adds to the experience rather than actually gives you additional, like allows you to finish the game, then I'm good with that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I dislike it. I dislike charging the same exact price for a digital copy. I mean, I hate paying full price for a game. Only time I pay full price for a game is when it has a collector item with it. I'll pay more than the price for that. But I think it's crazy to pay the same exact price. And with the physical, that's something that you can actually sell to somebody. You know what I mean? The digital, you can't do that. They've talked about that over the years of making that available because that's a real thing. So I'm not a fan of it. It should be lower. If you're not having to produce this cost to make the physical product.
Oh man, yeah. Some guy blew his top because Puzzle Bobble wasn't on the Neo Geo. All right, we need Puzzle Bobble. Who in their right mind would buy this cabinet? It doesn't have effing Puzzle Bobble on it. Ridiculous. All right, guys, let's get back to this. So my wife, and I want to know your honest thoughts on this game. My wife, when we had our GameCube, you know what she loved? She loved playing those Harry Potter games that were on the GameCube, right? Where you're running around the castle and you had to collect beans. You remember that? Like you hit every piece of furniture and beans came out. Mm-hmm. She loved it, right? So when my wife saw
it was better on the PS1.
Yeah, I bet. So when my wife saw this Harry Potter game, she of course went banana sandwich and she wants me to get this one. Guys, what are you thinking about the Harry Potter game? Honest thoughts. I love the books. I love the movies, but I honestly don't want the game. But I'm going to have to get it because the wife wants it. What about you guys?
I want the game.
Okay.
I want the game. I played those games, the same games that you're saying your wife played. They were great games. Mm-hmm. They did a good job. And I like the idea of like you're in the Harry Potter universe, but it's not Harry Potter. Like I like that. And maybe he's going to be in there, but like I like the idea of having a completely unique story that we haven't read or seen before. So for me, that's a win. I'm gonna probably pick that up. I don't know if it'll be a launch pickup, or I guess a release pickup whenever it comes out. But I think I'll get it.
Okay. What about you, Michael B?
I think I'm a little bit too old for this. Like, of course, I went to see the Harry Potter movies and read some of the books. My wife's a big fan, but this is not in my age range. It all depends. My daughter's a big fan of Harry Potter now. If by the time this comes out, she's old enough to start experiencing gaming, maybe we'll pick it up so we can play it together, but it's not something that appeals to me.
I love Zero Hero. We don't trust trailers. We got to see the gameplay first. That's right.
That's 100% true.
Yeah,
he is right. 100%.
Yeah, my son,
for example,
my son's 32 years old. He loves Harry Potter. I've never really been a fan of Harry Potter. He would love this game for sure, and I'm sure he's going to get it.
Eminem says, "Buy her the Lego Harry Potter. See if she notices the difference." Say, Dominic says, "Hey dudes, just starting the beginning of the show, but want to say what's up while you're live. Thanks for the content. Enjoy all your channels. Thanks so much, buddy. We appreciate that." Okay, so what else we got in the hopper here? So Live the Unwritten. What I do find interesting is it does take place in the Harry Potter world, kind of like all these Star Wars games, right? They take place in the Star Wars universe, but you're a totally different character. You know, it's kind of cool. Like, that's cool. No,
so you're saying this is going to be Harry Potter Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, probably. Oh man, like literally, well, I got really bored when she was she played that GameCube game, and it's like she's just walking around just beating every piece of furniture, collecting beans. And I was like, do you do anything in this game, or do you just beat the furniture and collect beans?
You gotta learn spells.
She's like, I need the beans. I need the beans to level up. I need the beans. I'm like, all right, babe. All right. What'd you guys think about God of War, huh? God of War fans?
Yes.
That's the game right there.
That's a winner. Now I wish, well, you know what? They're probably just saying, hey, we're confirming there's going to be a God of War game. We probably won't see this game for like 2 years. I don't see this game coming out for like another 2 years minimum.
Hey, Ristal, just stop putting a wet blanket on this.
It's not a wet
Ragnarok
blanket,
is
man. I
coming.
want-
Ragnarok is coming.
Great. I want them to take their time because I want this to be a masterpiece, just like God of War 4 was.
Do you
Yeah, you
remember
wanna-
when? I'm sorry, Carl. I just want to jump in really quickly. Do you remember the development from the last God of War game? How Santa Monica Studios took this to Sony and showed them, and Sony was like, "This is terrible. We hate this." And it ended up becoming like Game of the Year and was like one of the best gameplay experiences in probably 5-10 years. But Sony originally said, "Yeah, we hate it. We don't like this."
No, that franchise is a winner on every front. Every single game is
It
not
is.
every single game, but
And
most
hopefully
of those titles
they've
are
gotten the
amazing.
developer early access to the hardware so that they can be able to get this product out right in the best way and take advantage of the new hardware. But it's funny, the first time someone told me about God of War, the way they described it was so off. They was like, "Oh, it's this guy's puzzles," and I shouldn't have even looked at the game based on how he described it, but he was so enthusiastic about it. I'm like, what are you talking about? That doesn't sound like a great game. But luckily, I did check out God of War, and man, that's one of my favorite games of all time. I just love everything about it.
They're saying it's going to be 2 years before it even comes out. Does that sound right?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. At least a year. Like I said,
No,
unless they
more
got
than
early
that.
access to the hardware.
If
It's
it
no
was only
way.
a year away, they would have shown us alpha footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's no
Yeah.
way it's less than a year. Period.
That
That's
would
what
have
I'm
been
saying.
like, yeah, that would have been what they headlined the whole event with. If they headlined that event with a God of
Right.
War game, nobody's buying an Xbox. Everyone's buying the PS5. So, yeah, 2 years minimum. 2 years minimum.
Wow. Well, I'd love to show you guys some footage of the Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village game. However, it's a Capcom game, and apparently they're copyright striking people if we show the footage. So I just want to get your thoughts. Honestly, in my opinion, the last great Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 4, Fight Me. After that game, like Resident Evil 5, it was okay. And obviously Resident Evil 6 was a hot freaking mess. What are you guys thinking about Resident Evil Village? Did anyone see it? And they're not doing the over the shoulder. They're sticking with the first person and all that stuff. I mean, Resident Evil 4 was an amazing game. And when I look at this, I'm like, the graphics look cool, but this game doesn't excite me. What about you guys? Let me know. Anybody?
I don't know.
I hadn't seen anything on the new one. I mean, I'm just giggling here thinking about the very first Resident Evil, the way it was so hard to control this character.
Tank controls,
When
yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible, but the concept of it was just so awesome, man. I've sort of lost track. I'm one of those type of people. Once you get over 2 or 3 of the same game, in movies the same way, I sort of lose interest. That hasn't happened with God of War. It's one of the rare exceptions. But once you just keep regurgitating the things, I sort of lose attention. And so I haven't watched the footage. I have no idea of what the new versions are like. But I'm sure they look awesome.
Yes, the Resident Evil 7 that came out. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I've heard very good things about it. That being said, this new Resident Evil looks like a Resident Evil game. I think if they kind of follow along the same development line that they did with the previous game, I think they'll do well.
Okay, so you're giving them hope. I think it's gonna flop. But what about you, Michael B?
Really? Cool.
Well, I don't think it's going to flop. A lot of people loved 7. They said it was a return to survival horror for Resident Evil. As 4, which I love too, but 4 was really the lead into the action Resident Evil world that 5 and 6 were. It's just 5 and 6 were so much worse than 4. 7 was a return to survival horror. 8 is following that. But for me, I've never really loved Resident Evil after the first 3 games. I love that original style and, of course, Code Veronica. And I love the fact that they just went back and remade Resident Evil 2 and now Resident Evil 3. And I was hoping that we would see more in that style, but I would rather see 7 and 8 as an offshoot project, like Resident Evil Stories or something like that, and then have more mainline franchise games styled like the great Resident Evil 2 remake. I mean, that was incredible, and I was so happy to play that again. I want to see more of that. I'm cool with playing this too, but I'd rather them focus more on more Resident Evil 2 styled.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And Detroit Love, did you want to add anything about the Resident Evil series? Anything
No,
additional? Okay. So what were you guys thinking about Demon Souls? Now, obviously, I'm into it. Hell, I pre-ordered it and I didn't even get the console yet. What are you guys thinking about Demon Souls? Nostalgia, why don't you go first?
It looks good. That whole series looks quite good. I've never, I don't think I've ever played. No, I don't think I've ever played. There was another Demon Souls game, right, for PS3. Is that right?
I think so.
I don't recall what other console was out, but I've never played it. But I mean, it just looks like it's going to be a fun game. It kind of reminds me of like Witcher, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good game. So, I mean, I think I think this is going to be one that a lot of people are going to like quite a bit. I mean, it looks beautiful. Like it looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. What about you, Michael B? What are your thoughts on this? I personally love anything like fantasy open world games like this. Like I love them. I love them. What about you, man?
I don't love these games. I don't want to play another. I don't want to play another Dark Souls. I don't want to play another Bloodborne. Yeah. And I'm gonna go back a little bit because maybe someone can enlighten me on this. This one's called Demon Souls, and is this Demon Souls 2, or is this a remaster of the game from the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3? I think it was. Sorry. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I haven't been following it, so that's why I'm asking for help here now. Is this a brand new game, or is this a remaster of the PS3 version?
I'm thinking this is a new game, but I don't know. I haven't played the first one, so and I don't think they really said anywhere in the announcement. They just kind of said this is the game.
Dragon Gamer says Dark Soul Remaster.
Dark Soul, okay. So there you go. I don't know. It looks good.
It looks sexy, guys. It looks sexy.
Yeah, it does look nice. I'm a fan of the open world games where you can adventure and search and you can go wherever you want versus being on the track.
You are not getting it here, guys. Yeah. Like, this is pain and torture. This is like you're basically dying every 5 seconds in these games. Like if you've played one of them, like all this talk of the Witcher open world, you're not getting that here.
Just wait for the boss battle that's coming up here, guys.
Yeah.
So it's not on the lines of like a Lara Croft type of.
No, these games are very difficult. So.
Yeah. And you spend more time rolling and avoiding than you do actually doing anything else.
Well, it's better than hitting furniture collecting beans, Michael.
Well, that's
God. I mean, look at this boss fight. Epic.
Done.
Epic. And he's like, you died. Boom. God, I want to fight this guy so bad. I want to get in there right now. I'm like, dodge, dip, dove, dive, duck, and roll. And I love the wounds on him. Look at that. He's getting all bloody.
Well, the game looks like really nice. Like
you died.
Really nice.
It is, and I'll explain my venom here now. I've bought every single one of these games, and then I never play them. So I'm openly trying to talk myself out of buying this because I know I won't play it. I know I won't enjoy it, but it looks so cool. I want to buy it, but.
Do you even try to play them, or do you just buy them and then just let them sit on the shelf?
No. I buy them and then I play them, and then I get really angry and say, I've got about 4,000 games here to play. Why am I trying to give myself a heart attack going through this?
Sounds like you're not a very good gamer, Mike.
That might be true too.
Mm-hmm.
I do that with Far Cry. I buy them and I play so long. I'm like, oh, this is too stressful. I got to stop. And I've never finished one of them.
What do you guys think? And let us know in the chat. What do you guys think about PlayStation coming out with the PlayStation Plus benefit to kind of? It looks similar to the Xbox Game Pass, doesn't it?
Yeah, we don't have enough information, but I think, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought it said you could get access to the entire PS4 library. I thought that's what it said in the preview. I think it said access the entire PS4 library, but I might be mistaken. Maybe I misread it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Came on screen and then went away.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do know that the whole PlayStation 4 library, they said that basically the PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible with 99.4% of the games so far. So maybe that's where there's some confusion there, but you might be right too.
Yeah. I don't know. Everything except for God of War.
Craziness, man. Craziness. God, what an exciting time for gaming, right? I mean, retro gaming, modern gaming, everything's hot. It's on fire. There's so many things to buy. Jeez, man, it's crazy. Losing my mind here. I'm going to be broke, right? Bills, forget them. Who needs to pay bills, right? What do you guys got coming up on your channels, Carl? Are we going to put a handle on your NBA Jam cabinet? Carry that around with you?
It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. I know my next purchase, my last purchase was a chair, man. This chair is the most uncomfortable thing. That's why I'm always leaning. So I finally ordered my game chair. So probably maybe by next week I'll have my gaming chair, and that'll be a lot more comfortable.
Did you get a Secret Labs?
No, something on Amazon. I don't recall what the brand it was, but it was red. That's my favorite color. So it's got some red in it. That's about all I know.
Now, did you get that hat with your Mario stuff today, Carl?
Yeah. I picked this up when I got I picked up Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, nice.
And so I was enjoying that a little bit earlier. And this Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, there you go.
That one I'm not sold on. I played a little bit. But the Mortal Kombat, I like that a lot.
Now, Carl, don't forget you should have a download code for Bayonetta 1 and that Bayonetta 2 as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I didn't see anything. Yeah. But because this thing was pretty empty. Oh yeah, there's a code here. Yeah, thanks.
Play the first one first.
I'll give it to her. Here, you can get it. No, I'm just kidding.
So download that first one and play it first before you start getting into the second.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Guys, if you're a fan of retro gaming and arcades, don't tune off just yet. We might have a quick something to show you here in 1 minute. Just coming through. Michael B, what do you got coming up on your channel while I pull this up? What are you laughing about?
Because I'm afraid that you're going to go to the door in a second and you're going to have another cab and you're going to be like, oh, let's open it up.
Let's unbox it. We got 3 more hours.
I got a Neo Geo cabinet that just showed up at the door. Is that UPS?
Yeah.
Is that FedEx?
I didn't even reach out to those guys. Go ahead.
So I do have a new video coming out tomorrow night. I'm about 70% done, and God willing, I'm going to finish it tonight. But it's going to be looking at some really, really hard NES games. So guys, throw in the comments, what do you think the hardest game on the NES is? Let me know. And maybe I'll give you a heads up whether or not it's going to be in the video or not.
Duck Hunt.
Yeah, that's tough.
You try shooting that dog.
What about you, Nostalgia? What are you going to be hacking this week?
Nothing that's being hacked this week. I spent some time on there's a handheld, the Arcade 2020, which is pretty much the Odroid Go Advance clone. Mm-hmm. That one is coming out hopefully tomorrow, maybe Sunday, depending on when I can get it edited. I've also got some Retroid Pocket 2s that I've got to do some videos. Those things are pretty awesome. They run so many different consoles very well. So that's another one I'm excited to put out. Just a bunch of kind of handheld stuff.
Which one's the one you messaged me this week and said it was a total dumpster fire? Which one was that?
Nice try.
All right, just messing with you. All right, guys, by popular request, folks wanted to see this. So if you guys caught the iiRcade live stream today, they did actually show us in person, not concept art, what these Dragon's Lair and Double Dragon cabinets look like. So I wanted to get this going here for you guys. These are at the warehouse now. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the chat, as well as my co-hosts. Feel free to chime in. What do you guys think now that we actually see what this thing looks like in real life?
I wish they would film these in 4K.
Yeah.
So I was watching the stream, watching the video after the fact. I never got a chance to join in the stream. And what did John keep saying? It was Marvel? It has a Marvel look to it?
I think you're talking marble.
Like marble.
Shiny.
Oh.
It's like,
look at that.
Like super
P-Dubs wrote, there it is. That was me during the live stream. I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
I hope that one's mine. This is the one I ordered. Go ahead.
I like this. I do like it. It's obviously not based off of the original cab, but the original cab didn't really have much of a graphic design anyways to it. So I I think I like not this side, but I like the other side better. But
The purple side?
well, is this not the purple side? Isn't the
No,
other
I'm
side,
sorry.
like,
This is
orange?
this is the purple side. You don't like this side. You like that side.
Well, I don't dislike it. I just like this.
You
side
just said
better
you
than the
hated
look.
it.
I know. You're right.
I'm just messing with you.
You got me.
I think it looks
Um,
great.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it looks good too.
My comments about it, I think it looks nice. I'm glad that they have those black backs versus the color that Arcade1Up puts on the back. Since
That
we have
looks
to put
so
our
good.
own graphics on, I would like for the sides to have been, one piece, so you wouldn't have to see the separation. That would have been great. But that's the cabinet. That's my cabinet there.
Yeah.
I like
well,
it.
That
the
does look
dragon.
That
the
looks
dragon.
so much. That
Yeah.
looks so much better than.
The Dragon's Lair cabinet. The graphics will already be applied.
Oh well.
The-
Awesome.
Yeah, the Double Dragon cabinet, you have to apply the graphics yourself because they're considered a freebie because you're getting a black blank cabinet and the graphics are thrown in there. Guys, what do you guys think of that Double Dragon? It actually looks pretty damn good. I'm almost ready to switch.
Yeah, that actually. Now I'm seeing like a live product. I actually think that I like that one better than the Dragon's Lair.
Yep.
Something to think about. Holy smokes.
Yep.
That's pretty.
Yep. Michael
Yeah.
B, you want a Double Dragon one, right? That's the one you would get if you could get one.
I got a very special circumstance that would involve me getting a Double Dragon iiRcade.
Mhm.
Very
What is it?
special.
What is it?
It's got to have Alyssa Milano on it, of course.
Oh, come on.
Well, see, she's actually going to be in the cabinet. There's enough space
So-
that they can.
So it's
stuff
like
her
my
in there
birthday.
and-
She's gonna pop out of the cabinet when it
She's gonna
arrives.
Pop out, sing you happy birthday.
Hang on. I got something here. Jong is always hawking these cabinets to celebrities, right? He's always posting pictures with celebrities and all that. What if Jong had
Is this the black
Alyssa?
edition? Hold on, is this the black
Yeah,
edition?
yeah.
Yeah.
What if Jong had Alyssa Milano deliver this to you, Michael B? Would that be okay? All right.
100%.
She'll need bodyguards, but that's about it. Guys, that is the plain black cabinet for you to skin any way you want or leave it plain black. Let me know what you think. And we'll see. Look at Bobby. Bobby's nuts, man. He ordered like 3 PlayStation 5s. He got 2 Double Dragons, Dragon's Lair. Man.
Was that Bobby's listing for the $20,000 pre-order purchase of the
Yeah,
PS5?
yeah, on eBay. He's the scalper. Bobby Boo is the scalper. Clean.
Clean like a mother.
That looks nice. It doesn't. Does it have acrylic on the screen though, or is it just not in this?
I
this
don't think
product
it's.
here, right here?
I don't think it's in this one.
Do you want to go back to one of the finished, the ones that we saw earlier, P-Dubs, and see if there is acrylic over the screen? If you can.
Yeah, I'm going back. That looks like acrylic there.
Yeah.
That's got acrylic there for sure.
Yeah. So this,
it's
yeah,
got like a gloss.
yeah. So the black one, they hadn't finished it yet by the time they started filming. That's probably what happened there.
Did you guys
I'm
notice?
gonna
that
upgrade mine to glass anyway. So
I think the screens are curved, no? Or I guess like the cutout around the screen is curved.
No. Hey, Kev Gret, there you are. And here he is right here. Look at this guy. He's everywhere.
That cabinet looks really, really nice though. Like
I
I'm really, really
know.
digging that one.
Like now I'm almost regretting getting Dragon's Lair. Like I want to switch now. That looks so good as Double Dragon. You know? Kev Gret, I'm famous.
yeah, thanks for making that happen there, P-Dubs. By the way.
Oh, me? This had nothing to do with me. This was the community. So I saw a lot of comments where people were like, we need artwork on this thing. I had, we made up a mock thing. We sent it to Jong and he agreed. I mean, but it was the community's idea, not mine. So, all right.
Yeah, thanks
guys.
a lot, P-Dubs, for making it happen. Thank you. Appreciate it. Otherwise, I
Look
would
at
have had a marble.
Look at
had a
Tommy.
marble
He thinks it's ugly. He's not digging it. Well, the control deck is substantial. I like that part. Looks like a cheap Chinese cab. Aren't these all made in China? All these cabinets? I don't know. I don't
Right.
think that's a nice. I don't think that's a nice thing to say, brother. Look at Jong. Okay, so what do you guys think overall of these designs of these cabinets? You guys excited now that we know what the artwork looks like in real life?
I've been excited this whole time. I like what they're doing. I'm really excited about the modern approach to it. So it just looks so much different than anything else. There's nothing else that looks like this, and they're doing some different things in the market. I like that. So I'm a fan. Jong knows that.
Oh, look at Jeff. Yeah, these are being built in Korea, by the way, in a factory that actually has built these kind of machines before in the past, from what John was saying. So supposedly the quality control, he was saying that the quality control we should be happy about because they know what they're doing in this warehouse is what he was saying. KO, okay. All right, guys, we about wrapping it up now?
Sounds like it.
We got through all our topics. We did it. Kudos. High fives. Guys, we really appreciate your support. Do us a favor. Make sure you subscribe to all the hosts. And make sure you give us a thumbs up on your way out, no matter what channel you're watching this on. We'd greatly appreciate it. Leave us comments after the show. Let us know your feedback. Guys, you're awesome. I love hanging out with these dudes on Friday nights, as well as all of you. And Carl, whenever you're ready, man.
Yeah, and to answer your question, P-Dubs, I will be making some more AtGames Legends Ultimate videos, so stay tuned for those. And until next time,
Nice.
guys, we'll see you on the web.